Well, we're packing up, cleaning up a little bit, knocking a little of the dust off the cooler before we take off and go home. You know, out in South Dakota, you're going to get a little dust, but with 100 fish plus a day right now in Lake Oahe, who can complain about a little bit of dust? The one thing you're going to go through a lot of out here when you fish is you're going to go through live bait. If you're pulling slow death or crawler harnesses, you're going to use a lot of crawlers. Now, we came out with 4 flats of crawlers from Hank's Live Bait and Tackle out of Waterloo, Iowa. We're probably going to have to get more, but we were fortunate enough to get on some programs with some Berkeley flicker shads, and we also did a lot of jigging with gulp and power bait jerk baits. And in turn, we didn't have to use the crawlers. Now, upon inspection, the crawlers kept alive for 8 days on the same ice. And you know, that all boils down to bait and cooler management. Regardless if you're keeping food, bait, whatever in your coolers, there's 3 easy tips that can help you get more mileage and save a little bit of money when it comes to using coolers. Now, tip number 1 is use block ice. Whenever you can use block ice, it lasts a lot longer than cube ice, and it's going to give you more for your money. Again, we didn't even have to mess with our coolers over 8 days. Same ice, one time, no fuss, no muss. Second tip is before you put the block ice in or before you use your cooler, make sure that your cooler is cooled down. And there's a couple different ways you can do that. One is you can use some well water. Before I leave home, I have a well. I use that ice cold well water to cool the temperature of the cooler down, or to cool the plastic that the cooler was made of. The other tip is you can use a little bit of ice, sometimes that musty old ice that you got in your refrigerator, you know, or some inexpensive source, just to cool that cooler down. And also the other tip is to use cube ice to supplement it. Wherever we've got our flats in here, or these different styrofoam boxes, we've got them sitting on top of the blocks, and the cracks around everything we fill it with cube ice. So it's good to use a combination of both block and cube ice, and that'll keep your cooler cool. But these proper tips, or these maintenance tips as far as keeping your coolers cool, will make your money go a lot farther, make your bait go a lot farther, make your food go a lot farther, and in turn, you can go a lot farther when you're wild for outdoors.